Dear First Prep, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud with you today to introduce a new mathematics lesson. Today, inshallah, we have algebra. It's unit 1, lesson 5. The lesson is called Order of Mathematical Operations. In this lesson, inshallah, we are going to learn how can we evaluate a mathematical statement included plus, minus, time, divide, powers, and brackets. And how can we start? Okay, let's start the lesson. Operation like 3 plus 5 times 2, and I need to evaluate this one. Okay, first, as usual, evaluating 3 plus 5 and the result multiplied by 2. Okay, first 3 plus 5 equals 8 and 8 times 2 equals 16. Now let's check this operation on the calculator like this. Okay, 3 plus 5 times 2 equal 13, not 16, because we use wrong steps. Okay, so 8 times 2 and 16 are wrong answers. The correct answer is starting the multiplication operation first, then the plus operation like this. 5 times 2 equals 10, and 3 plus 10 equals 13, and this is the answer that comes in the calculator. Okay, so the idea of the lesson is how can we follow the operations, or how can we use the steps in this mathematical operation. Okay, the order of mathematical operation, we have 4 steps. The first step, if we have an operation included, for example, plus, minus, time, divide, powers, brackets, and so on. So the first step that we are going to evaluate the brackets. Again, the first step, we are going to evaluate the brackets. The second step, step number 2, we are going to evaluate the powers. Again, step number 2, evaluate the powers. Okay. Step number 3, we are going to evaluate times or divide, but from left to right. Again, times or divide from left to right. Step number 4, evaluate plus or minus from left to right. Okay, now the first step, brackets, powers, time or divide, plus or minus. We are going to study these steps well. So let's start solving the next problem. Okay, now here we have 3 plus 12 divided by 6. Remember with me. First, brackets. Number 2, powers. Number 3, time or divided from left to right. Number 4, plus or minus from left to right. Okay, this is the steps I'm going to use in all questions. Okay, now I haven't brackets and I haven't powers, but I have divide and the plus. Okay, so I'm going to start with the divide, then the plus. Okay, So I'm going to write down 3 plus 12 divided by 6 equals 2. And finally 3 plus 2 equals 5. Then you can check by using the calculator. 3 plus 12 divided by 6 equals 5. So this is the correct answer. Okay, another one. Here we have 4 times 2 power 3 minus 20. We have time, we have power, we have minus. Okay, first we start with the power, then time, then minus. Again, power, then time, then minus. So, first I'm going to write down 4 times 2 power 3 equals 8 minus 20. Now I evaluated the power. The second step, we have time and minus, so I'm going to start with times. 4 times 8 equals 32 minus 20. The last step, I'm going to evaluate minus. 32 minus 20 equals 12. Now we have minus, divide, and power. So the first step, I'm going to evaluate the power. So I'm going to write down 144 minus 8 divided by 2 power of 3 equals 8. Okay. Now I have minus and divided. Minus and divided, so I'm going to start with the divided. So it will be 144 minus 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Finally, 143 minus 1 equals 144 minus 1 equals 143. Number 4. Here we have divided. I have bracket, power, and minus. Okay. First step, I'm going to evaluate the brackets. Then power, then time divided plus minus. The first step, I'm going to evaluate the brackets. So, I have 196 divided by 7 minus 5, again 7 minus 5 equals 2, and here 2 is to the power of 2. Okay, so I evaluated the brackets. Now, the second step, I have divided and power, so I'm going to evaluate the power. So it will be 196 divided by 2 to the power of 2 equals 4. Finally, 196 divided by 4 equals 49. Don't forget brackets, powers, time divided, plus or minus. Okay, remember with me. Brackets, powers, time or divided, plus or minus. Okay, the first problem, I have divided, minus, time, plus, and 2 brackets. The first step, I'm going to evaluate the brackets. Now I have 2 different brackets, so I can evaluate each of them separately like this. 18 divided by the first brackets equal 3 times the second brackets equal also 3. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Okay, now I have divided and times, so I'm going to start with the left one. The left one, or the first one from the left, is 18 divided 3. So I'm going to evaluate 18 divided by 3 equals 6 and write down times 3. Now 6 times 3 equals 18, and this is the simplest form. 10 times 4 minus, open bracket, 2 times 6 minus 8. First, I'm going to evaluate the brackets. But inside the brackets, we have 2 different operations. So, inside the brackets, time and minus. Which one is first? Time or minus? Yes, the time is first. So, I'm going to start with 2 times 6. Now, 10 times 4 minus, open brackets, 2 times 6 equals 12 minus 8. I'm doing this because I can't evaluate time and minus in the same time. So I'm going to start with time, then minus. Finally, I have to evaluate the whole bracket, 12 minus 8, which is 4. So 10 times 4 minus 4. Now I have time and the minus. Which one is first? The time is first. So 10 times 4 equals 40 minus 4. 40 minus 4 equals 36. Okay, remember with me the steps. Brackets, powers, times or divided, plus or minus. Okay, the first step, I'm going to evaluate the brackets, but inside the brackets we have power, divided, and time. So I'm going to start with the power inside the bracket. So it will be 7, open brackets, 6 power of 2 equal 36, divided by 2 times 3. Okay, now inside the brackets there is divided and times. Okay, which one is first? The first one is the left one. So 36 divided by 2 is first. So it will be 7, open brackets, 36 divided by 2 equals 18. And here times 3. Now I have inside the brackets 18 times 3. So I'm going to start with the brackets first. So it will be 7 times, because 7 bracket means 7 times bracket. 18 times 3 equals 54. Finally, 7 times 54 equals 378. Now we have time, bracket, divide, plus, and power. So I'm going to start with the brackets. So it will be 12 times 4. 2 power of 2 equals 4. Divided by 2, 24, plus 3 power of 2. Okay, now I have time, divide, plus power. So I will start with the power. 12 times 4 divided by 24 plus 3 power of 2 equals 9. Now I have time, divide, plus. I'm going to start with time and divide, but the left one is the time. So I'm going to start with the time. 12 times 4 equals 48 divided by 24 plus 9. Now 48 divided by 24 equals 2 and plus 9. Finally, 2 plus 9 equals 11. Now I have power plus bracket minus. Now I'm going to start with the brackets. Which bracket I'm going to start? I'm going to start with the inner bracket. Okay, I can't start with the outer bracket because the outer bracket included more than operation inside. So I'm going to start with the inner bracket, 2 minus 1. So it will be like this: 2 power 3 plus, open bracket, 4 plus 2 minus 1 equals 1. Now I have power, I have plus, I have brackets. So I'm going to start with the brackets. So it will be 2 power of 3 plus 4 plus 1, 5. Okay, now I have power, I have plus, so I'm going to start with the power. 2 power of 3 equals 8 plus 5. Finally, 8 plus 5 equals 13. Now I have bracket, power, plus, minus, bracket, power, minus. I'm going to start with the inner bracket. So it is equal to bracket. Inside the brackets I have power and the plus, so I'm going to start with the power inside the first bracket. 5 power of 2, 25, and plus 1, minus the other bracket. I have power and the minus, so I'm going to start with the power. 4 power of 2, 16, minus 1. Okay, now I'm going to evaluate the smaller brackets. They are like this. 25 plus 1 equals 26. 16 minus 1 equals 15. Now this bracket 26 minus 15, 2 times 26 minus 15 equals 11. Finally, 2 times 11 equals 22. Don't forget, you can check the calculator each time. In this case, now we have 5 open bracket, two smaller brackets and the minus between them. Now I'm going to start with the smaller brackets. Inside here we have power and the minus, so I'm going to evaluate the power. 5 open brackets. Here 2 power of 2 equals 4 and minus 1, and here 2 power of 2 also equal 4 minus 2. Now 5 open bracket. The first bracket equals 3 minus the second bracket 4 minus 2 equals 2. Finally, 5 times 3 minus 2 equals 1, and 5 minus 1 times 1 equals 5. Now we have up and down. So I'm going to evaluate up together and down together parallel to each other. What does it mean, Mr. Ahmed? It means by looking to the numerator. The numerator included power, minus, and time. So I'm going to start with the power. Power here 5 power of 2 equals 25. Okay? Minus 5 times 2. Now by looking to the denominator, it represents a new operation. So I'm going to look to this operation. It has plus and divide. So I'm going to start with the plus. 15 plus 3 equals 18. And write down divided by 6. Okay, now back to the numerator. The numerator here included minus and times. So I'm going to start with the time. 25 minus 10. 5 times 2 equals 10. And now 18 divided by 6. This is another operation. 18 divided by 6 equals 3. Okay. Now I'm going to evaluate the numerator. 25 minus 10 equals 15 over 3. Finally, 15 over 3 equals 5. Now another example. Evaluate 16t divided 4s plus 3st. 4t equals 9 and s equals 6. Okay, now the first step, I'm going to substitute ts. Okay, here 16. 16t means 16 times. T is 9, so I'm going to write 9 plus, divided, open brackets. 4s means 4 times s. S is 6. 4 times 6 plus 3st. 3 times s times t. Like this. Okay. In this operation, I have time divide bracket time plus time. So I'm going to start with the brackets. 16 times 9 divided by 4 times 6, 24, plus 3 times 6 times 9. Now I have time divide plus time. So I'm going to start with the time in the left. So I will start with 16 times 9. 16 times 9 equals 144, and then divided 24 plus 3 times 6 times 9. Now 144 times 20 divided 24 equals 6, plus 3 times 6 times 9. Now I'm going to start with the time. So 3 times 6, 18. So 6 plus 18 times 9. Okay, now we have plus and times, so I'm going to start with the time. 6 plus 19. 18 times 9 equals 162. Finally, 6 plus 162 equals 171. And this is the end of the lesson. I hope it was helpful for you. See you inshallah in the next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Mr. Ahmed Mahmoud was with you.